guys, welcome to another video. I'm Chris Holt, and today I'm going to take you through my opinion, the top 5 jobs for young car enthusiasts. Now I've done my top 2 and number 1 on this list, and I'm going to take you through all my top 5 and show you guys what you should do when you're a young car enthusiast. So what do I consider a young car enthusiast? I consider them high school age or college age or even before that. So the number 1 tip I'm going to give you guys is no matter what job you end up getting, whether it's any of the 5 on this list or any other job, you want to do it as early as possible. Because even if you're getting $400 a month, you have that money to either spend or save up. So when you have your first car or your first sports car, you'll be able to pay a little bit more either for mods or getting that car that you really do want. So that would be my first tip to you guys. Definitely get a job as early as possible. Alright, so tip number 2 I'm going to give you guys is you guys need to define what you want out of the job. If you're going to work full-time or even overtime or just part-time, you need to really set aside and tell yourself what you want to get out of the job. If you're trying to look for a career starting out in high school or college, then go with something a little bit more internship-like. Or if you're just working on this as maybe a side hustle once you actually do find the career that you do want. So tip number 3 I'm going to give to you guys is make sure to check around. When you have the job that you want, make sure to go look at different companies that you want. For me, when I got the job number 1 on this list, I went around and I searched 3 separate companies and really put a pros and cons list about each one and why I liked certain companies over others. And that's why I came on to get my job for that number 1 spot. Alright, so tip number 4 is kind of having me ask you guys a question. So where do you guys see yourself in 5 to 10 years? Do you see whatever you want to do as your first job a step in the right direction towards your future? So for me, I did stuff in the car industry as that's kind of what I would love to do. It's my passion, it's my hobby. It's not necessarily going to be my career, but I would really love to implement that as one of my side hustles or something going on into the future. So if that's what you want to do, then stick around. So my 5th top job is working at an auto parts store or a hardware store. Reasons like this is you can get discounts on tools and really start to learn how to work on cars. I know it's not much, but you learn about the certain tools and the certain techniques people use and the problems they have with certain cars and stuff like that. And you can learn how to use certain tools and take that into work in service bays and service techs at different dealerships around you. I would say it's a great way to start with no experience necessary, and it's perfect to get in and start making a little bit more than minimum wage. So now on to number 4. So number 4 would be working at your local car dealership, whether it's Ford, Chevy, a used car dealership, whatever. So generally if you are just starting out with no experience, you're either going to work in washing bays or you're just going to be a guy that generally makes coffee, sweeps the lot, makes sure all the cars are in nice order. So I've had a couple friends actually do this and work in wash bays in certain dealerships. And they say it's not the most fun job, but you're definitely working around a bunch of cars. New, old, whatever. You get a lot of experience and you can really get to see and kind of review cars your own way and make different judgments about certain cars, seeing them and getting up close and personal with them. That's why I have this on the list as number 4. Number 3 on my list is working at a tire shop. And the reason why I have this, I also have had a couple of friends do this, is you get discounts on wheels and tires. Now for me, I'm looking to buy new tires for my Camaro, and that's going to be over $1,500. It's just crazy, and as you work in a tire shop, you get discounts, and you get to really see whether it's just your typical cars, they come in all the time, and you get to learn how to wrench on cars just a little bit more than the average person. It'll be nice because you get to see certain modified cars with aftermarket wheels and tires, and then you just get the run-of-the-mill cars. It's one of those that, you get a little bit of the service experience, and you also get a lot of access to a lot of different types of cars, and you never know what you'll get. So before moving on to number 2, I'm going to give you guys an honorable mention. For me, it'll be doing stuff on your own, whether that's starting a detailing business, whether that's going door to door with your neighbors and washing their cars for a small fee, or that's doing something like starting a YouTube channel. Doing stuff that will personally benefit you, take what you do and the stuff that you like and doing it a little bit more. Now this is something that you're probably not going to make a ton of money at, and it's probably you're going to have to struggle through, and that's why I have another job on top of doing YouTube. Alright, so now we're at the top 2. Both of these jobs I have done and I'm doing personally. Both are great jobs, and I'd highly recommend for all of you guys to go out and get some of these jobs. So starting with number 2. This is being an Uber Eats driver, a Grubhub driver, a pizza delivery guy. The great thing about using more of the app-based services over the pizza services is that you can choose your own time to work. Granted, that means you're not always going to be busy with it. So for me, when I'm at college, this is something that I do to get a little bit of extra spending money. But sometimes you can't find pickups or deliveries for people. And now with this virus happening, there's a lot more that we have to do. The reason why I really like this job though is you can choose your own time, you get to drive your own car, and it's really something that isn't too hard to do. You get to run into restaurants that you know of or don't know of yet, and interact with people, get to know them. Now, something that I would say would be being an Uber driver, but to become an Uber driver, there's a lot more stuff you have to pass in order to be that. Your car has to be a 4-door, it needs to be within like 5 or 7 years, and stuff that I personally as a car enthusiast don't have right now. So that's my number 2, and on to number 1. So here we are, almost at number 1, but before we do that, make sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment down below. So, my number 1 choice for young car enthusiasts is being a valet. Now for me, I've done the valet over summer, and I live in Seattle, so I do it at a pretty nice hotel down in Seattle, and it's great because not only do you make more than minimum wage, you also make tips on top of that. So overall, you'll end up making a decent amount of money, and it's pretty much in high demand, at least in Seattle and a bunch of the other big cities around here. You get to drive other people's cars, and I've driven everything from a brand new 2020 Camaro ZL1 to a Chevy SSR to your run-of-the-mill Nissan Sentra. It's one that you'll get to experience a bunch of other cars. Oh, another really cool car that I drove was a 4x4 squared, a G550 4x4 squared, which a bunch of these cars are super cool. And with this, I've really learned some of the cars that I do want to drive, or to own in the later future. I drove Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio, really liked the way that car was balanced. And I drove a Porsche 718 Cayman, really liked the way that car feels, and have so much more respect for a bunch of these cars. You really get to learn certain aspects in all these cars, whether it's straight up rental cars in a lot of business hotels, or it's some of the high-end stuff in more of the clubs or bars that you have. So the things I don't actually like about being a valet is I feel like there's no split in between having downtime and being rushed. During events and certain things like that, you're just constantly running up and down in parking garage and finding keys and setting them aside, and you have to do what you can to not forget to check in each key and all that. But also you could be really bored and have no cars coming when it's not check-in or check-out time, and just kind of be sitting around, really not doing much, standing outside in the cold isn't the most fun. Now, I've done valet in the early morning, overnight, and during the day. Overall, they're all not bad. You just have to go in with certain expectations. If you do it in the morning, you're going to get a bunch of checkouts. If you do it during the day, you're going to get a bunch of check-ins. And overnight, you never know. Sometimes you run into the crazies. Sometimes, you just sit down inside and watch Netflix all night. All I can say is I think the benefits outweigh the negatives, and that's why I have valet as my number 1 job. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I want to hear what you guys would think of the top 5 jobs for young car enthusiasts you guys think of. And also let me know if you're a young car enthusiast, where you guys have worked, and how that's worked out for you guys. I hope you guys liked the video, and if you have any others that you'd like me to do, is I got a 2010 Chevy Camaro and a 2002 Subaru WRX, or any other top 5, top 10 videos that you would like me to do, Let me know in the comments down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and until next time, see you later.